Welcome to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you'll hear about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Now, let's join your hosts, Spivvy Williams and Terrible T Guy.
All right, guys, welcome to the next edition of Event Radio. We are at a absolutely cool event, first-time run at Beach Bend Raceway. This, guys, is the way drag racing used to be. There are no electronics. There are no delay boxes. There are no throttle stops. This puts the driver back in the game. We are at the Bottom Bulb Challenge, which actually what that means is it when the light turns green, you go. You figure out what you think you're going to run. You put that on your car. So does the other guy. They will automatically spot you that much in the tree, and then it's history, buddy. It's the first cat to the other end. They're the winner. And when I grew up, T, that's the way drag racing was.
That's the way when you and I were sitting out here when we were young and Pop was running, that's the way first one to the other end wins. If you was a class lower, you got a light.
Right. Well, that actually is really what put drag racing on the map. Now, I realize how important ET bracket racing is, but it's more important to the manufacturers and the racers than it is the spectators, because the spectators sure can't figure it out. When a car leaves the starting line wide open, it falls on its nose. It stays on its nose for a couple of 100 feet. Then it picks up again. They think it's torn up. And that's actually, it's made to do that. Where this race, buddy, it turns into an all-out drag race like you see done at a lot of the, on TV, on some of those street race deals. It's a first cat there and the guy that gets it done, you know?
Yeah, this is one scenario where I do not really believe that technology is the way to go as far as the button, leaving the line, knowing knowing everything's going to shift.
This right here. This, to me, separates the men from the boys. You win one of these, and you're a driving fool. I mean, the car, the electronics, none of that helped you. You've got to do this on your own. And you see guys like Clayton Clark that actually excels in this, and it's because he was a real good racer to start with. You know, the electronics probably hinder him more than they help him because his reactions are so quick. This is going to be a cool show. We get to introduce you to this show to, other than the national events, the actual real racers. I mean, these guys know how to get it done, you know. What do you think, T-Bone?
I'll tell you what, they got a great crowd. Didn't you say it's the first time they're doing this?
This is the first race that
what it's going to be like next year.
Yeah, this is the first race that our buddy Dallas has put on, the Bottom Bulb Challenge. I think it's going to be a tremendous hit. It's going to grow in size to where probably Beach Bend will not handle it, because this brings on more talk. These are the true racers in this place, and buddy, they know how to get it done.
I tell you what, they're fast. When they come off them, they cut some good lights. I mean, that goes right back to the the driver's skill, right?
Well, I tell you what, we're going to, like all good things, when you do things really well, you sometimes ask for a little guidance from above to get things done. And we're going to open our show with one of our favorite people, the guy that is the chaplain of all these events.
The world's fastest preacher.
The world's fastest preacher, and boy, one sure enough good guy. The fellow that gets it done and holds church services here on Sunday morning. And man, we love him. We think he is absolutely fabulous. Our buddy, Mr. Artie Fulcher, we're going to track him down, and we're going to have him as our first guest on Event Radio.
Spivvy, do you think Artie, being a preacher like he is, and a great one at that, you reckon he might have a little more sponsorship above?
I don't know. He won $10,000 last time he was here. So, he got a little help with his ministry from somewhere. Of course, he's a pretty good racer too. You know, that don't have a lot to do with it.
No.
But, I don't know. One thing for sure, it sure can't hurt, guys. We're going to track him down. We're going to talk to him, and we will be right back.
Say bye.
All right, guys, we are back from the first annual Bottom Bulb Challenge, and we have our buddy and absolutely the coolest minister as far as event radio is concerned on the planet, bar none, our friend, our buddy, Mr. Arnie Fulcher. How are you, sir?
I am great, Spivey. It's good to be with y'all again here at Bowling Green for this inaugural event of the Bottom Bulb Beach Bend Bracket Bash, we might call it.
Well, you know, Terry and I were just talking in the opening of this show. We believe you might have a little above sponsorship, a little more advantage than some, because the last time we talked to you, you won $10,000.
That's very true. That was a great day. The Lord blessed me. It's the first year in many years I started off with more money in my pocket going to the second race of the year. So it was nice and comfortable for that 2 weeks that money lasted.
Yeah, of course, see, for that 2 weeks, that whole 2 weeks, we sort of think that maybe you running our decals had a little something to do with it. Now, I'm going to tell you, you know Miss Mia Tedesco?
Yes.
Okay. We had Mia on the show, and we gave her a pair of decals. And she said, yeah, okay, I may put them on there. Well, she did. Next day, she won $5,000. She was a runner-up. Then 2 weeks later, she won $16,000.
Oh, my goodness.
2 weeks later, she won $22,000. She called me up and said, you got any more of them decals?
Well, that's what I was getting ready to ask you. If you got 2 more decals, I need one this weekend.
Yeah, all right, we'll see what we can come up with for you.
We can fix that.
Yeah, we can do that. But guys, Artie has the church service at every racetrack he's at on Sunday mornings. And trust me, that's a church you can believe what you hear, you know, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I appreciate that. When God called me to preach, I tried to be faithful to one commitment. You show me, teach me, and I'll stand up for the truth, no matter who it makes mad or whatever. But, you know, like I say, people usually come to my services. They either get sad and mad or happy and glad. One
thing about it, you know something's going to happen.
They never have a problem understanding what I'm saying.
Well,
from the youngest to the oldest, I try to keep it simple, plain, and straightforward. And I tell people, if you read between the lines on my preaching, you're going to get the wrong message, because I said what I meant and meant what I said.
Well, you tell it the way it is, and win, lose, or draw. And I think that's partly what's so cool about you, and that's what T and I love about you so much, is that you, we believe exactly what you're saying because you don't sugarcoat anything.
Well, I try not to, and like somebody come up to me the other day and said, boy, preacher, what you preached to us 4 or 5 years ago, we're living now. He said, I thought you were crazy when you preached that day, but you know what? It's a reality now. And he said, so I'm looking forward to hearing what you got to say tomorrow.
Well, and another thing, guys, that's cool. What does it say in the Bible, Artie? Church is where 2 or more are gathered. Is that what it is? Am I right there?
Where 2 or more gathered in His name, He's in the midst. It's not about stained glass steeples. It's about coming together wherever you may gather yourself, even sitting in your car on this radio program. If you get in agreement and it's about Jesus, we're having church.
There you go. There you go. So you don't have to get in the suit and tie. You don't have to do all that stuff and let your neighbor see how well you can dress and do all those silly, crazy things and go to the largest building in the city. It's cool. It's good. But that's not all there is.
Well, the sad point of what you're saying is that's the way most people will go to church tomorrow, Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Instead of going there to honor the Lord and glorify His name, come. You know, I know a lot of new stuff today is come as you are, and that's okay. But you know, I still have in me that I think you ought to do your best. When I got saved, I come out of the nightclub world, and I had a pair of dingo boots and a couple of dress pants and dress shirts that I could get out there on a dance floor and boogie. But you know what? I shined my shoes every day when I went to church, tried to wear my best, and I was so thankful when I finally got a suit, and now everybody's wanting to get out of the suit. I don't get it.
You probably made them all look bad, Artie. You reckon that's what it was?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, you went from your best John Travolta imitation to looking like a real preacher.
Yeah.
See?
Well, Artie saved that suit and he put you to rest in it.
That's right. That's right.
I don't know that I want to do that either.
Well, I'm just looking forward to getting out of the world, because I really do believe in the real world, and that's the one that Christ went to build for us. And And every day it breaks my heart to see our nation in the condition it's in, where it's going.
Ain't that the truth?
And and the only thing that's going to turn it around really is 2 Chronicles 7:14 said, if my people, which are called by my name, we Christians, will humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways, then I will heal and forgive their sin and heal their land. And that's what it's about until there's a real revival of repentance in America. America is doomed.
So you think we need to step it up here, huh?
We got to step up. The key is repentance. 9/11 almost took us there. People were scared. They came to church. Every church in America filled up greater than they ever had.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Finances went up in all churches. But you know what? 6 weeks later, it was all gone again.
Well, you know, it's sort of like corporate America, Artie. It's not what have you done, but what have you done lately.
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately, that's the way corporate America exists, too. So the people work for those guys. That's sort of a bad role model, the way I see it.
It really is, and it's just sad, you know. And I'm thinking, you know, everybody's seeing it on the news right now with Israel and everything that's going over there with Hamas. And, you know, I watched the news media turn the thing to make Israel look bad. They're the ones that are receiving 150 missiles a day, not firing them. And then when they showed the clip of them coming up out of residential areas, and, you know, I'm saying no wonder the Bush team couldn't find the mass weapons of destruction when you got them in neighborhoods and under the ground.
Yeah.
Americans wouldn't look. That's not what we don't do stuff like that.
No, we don't do crazy things like that. And all those tunnels and all that stuff, you know, I mean, they're like a bunch of tunnel rats, basically.
Well, for anybody that's listening, if you're in that group that is against Israel, I suggest that you repent quickly, because God said, whoever blesses Israel, I will bless. Whoever curses them, I will curse them. That's a promise from the living God that created everything. So I'm for Israel.
There you go, buddy.
I'm going to be on that side, too.
All right, let's change gears. How's the race car running?
Oh, the race car's doing what it always does. Ronnie Maggart here at Hoosier Tires, we just put a new set of Hoosiers on, and he said, you know, Rambo is the craziest car. Said it doesn't matter what tire we put on it, if they're used, new, whatever, it just goes up there and does the same thing over and over again.
Well, I tell you what, maybe you got a little tuner that nobody else has got.
Well, I know he's in there with me. He takes care of me, watches over me.
But see, the name of the game is consistency, see?
It is.
And it doesn't matter how much you throw at it. If it's consistent, that's what you got to, boy, you'd be thankful right there now.
Well, it just repeats, and like Ronnie said, it's just a good-built car. And it was built here in Kentucky by an old backyard buddy of mine. And but I've had a great fun with it. I've owned it about 25, 30 years, and it's got
sort of like a family member.
Yeah,
huh? You don't want to get rid of it.
Yeah, figuratively speaking, 1,000,000 passes down the track. You know,
well, got 200,000 miles on a quarter mile.
How many
time.
miles would that be? Yeah,
man, I don't know, but it'd be a lot.
There you go, my friend. Well, I tell you what, we never ever want to come to one of these events that you are present and not have you on our program. We appreciate every time you join us. You're one of the highlights of our day when we go to somewhere that you're there. And thank you for being on Event Radio again.
You guys make me feel so good. I'll have to go down to the motorhome and let at least 15 pounds of air out of my head just for the way y'all do me.
Well, maybe you'll get good traction going in and out.
Yeah, why not, man?
Wheel stands.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, guys, we this is Saturday that we're doing this show, and with Artie being in town, both I think T and I and probably Susie, we will show up at 9:00 tomorrow morning in order to go through Artie's services. We won't get to stay for the race, but we will come strictly for that. And I think it's a thing to look forward to. And, guys, if you are ever at a racetrack, you see the Rambo car around, Artie won't be far behind. And make sure you show up on Sunday morning service that he preaches, because, trust me, you'll hear it the way it really is.
Well, I appreciate those kind words. It's a real pleasure meeting your wife, Susie. And
she is way too pretty for me, isn't she?
I don't know how you caught her. I
wouldn't let her have LASIK surgery, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
See, if she ever got
kept
that.
Her blind.
Yeah, if she ever got that, she'd see who she got, you know.
Oh, man.
She just got rid of her cane and sunglasses the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, my
yeah,
goodness.
Right.
God was smiling on you today.
Yeah, I did pretty good then. You know, I had a good day then.
I think that's why he's going to come to church tomorrow, Artie, where you can keep her.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
You know, the Bible said if a man find a wife, he finds a good thing. Not if he finds a woman. Women are everywhere. dime a dozen, so
That's
to
right.
speak.
That's
But if he
exactly
finds a
right.
wife, he has found a good thing.
Well, I've had this one a little over 40 years, so
Well,
I
I
guess
think-
I'm going to keep her.
I
you
think
know,
you got a
or
good
she's going to
thing.
keep me.
Yeah.
If I can just keep her out of that eye doctor's office, I'll be all right.
She took her that long to get you trained. Why would she want to do away with you?
There you go.
She's done trained you, baby. Your values done
Yep.
went down.
Yeah, I know. My mileage is about to flip over, too. But anyway, guys, we want to thank our buddy, Mr. Artie Fulcher, the greatest guy on the grounds. We love him to death, and we appreciate more than he knows him being on Event Radio again. And we're going to stab and steer, get out of here, and see what we can run into and talk to some of these guys that are trying to win all of Artie's money that he wants to get. But we will join you again real quick. You're on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere.
Thank you, Artie.
All right, guys, we are back from the Bottom Bulb Challenge. And out of every racer here, we come to what Event Radio believes is the absolute best on the grounds. And win-loss record, he will make us tell the truth, I guess you'd say. The one and only Mr. Clayton Clark. Clayton, how in the world are you, my friend?
I'm doing good today after yesterday.
Well, yeah,
we're
you just
kinda-
pocketed a bunch of cash yesterday.
Yeah. No, we've been trying to get him to put this race on for several years now, and to say that we were psyched for it and ready for it would be to minimize the statement, because we were ready and we wanted to do that. So I was real happy about yesterday.
You know, the thing about it, you'll probably do it all 3 days, and then we'll be around Monday to borrow money for lunch. You know, but buddy, this is a driver's race. You got to be a driver to win this.
It is. This type of racing is a little different than the top bulb racing. The top bulb racing, you've got to, not only do you have to be a driver, you have to have a lot of luck with it. That's why we enjoy bottom bulb racing so much, is if you've got some talent, then you should be able to go some rounds. Now, one thing about bottom bulb racing, especially races like this too, you've got to have that luck also at these type races, because everybody here has talent. I mean, they are good racers. These are the best racers in the country.
Well, that's sort of what we thought. This is the way it used to be. This is what made drag racing as popular as it was, because it got it down to, the car is cool, but the driver's a lot cooler. Back when I was growing up, they would take a good driver and put him in several cars, and he would do double or triple duty on a weekend and actually win probably in 2 or 3 of them,
Yeah, and that still occurs, that still occurs in today's racing. Maybe not as much just because of the expense of it, but, that still occurs nowadays. And, good drivers are always going to win in no matter what car they're in. They're going to find a way to win.
Well, actually, I tell you what, out of everybody here, if I was running, I would actually hate to pull upside of you more than anybody in this place, because mentally I would think I was beat right there, You
was?
Yeah, I probably was, because your reputation precedes you.
Well, thank you, but we have a little bit of a home track advantage here over some of these other guys.
Yeah, but you do it everywhere now.
Well, especially on the first day here, they're still trying to get their setup. Yesterday, we had a little bit of a home track advantage there. Because we run here normally, and we know what the setup is, and it takes a couple runs to get completely set up. So these guys will be a lot tougher. They'll be a lot tougher today than they were yesterday. Not to say that they weren't tough yesterday, but they'll even tighten it up even more.
Well, now what are you going to say tomorrow when we come see you and you've spanked them again? What's going to be? I had an advantage then. What are you going to say then?
That they'll tighten it up even tighter on Thursday.
Clayton, being a local guy, do a lot of the other drivers come up and ask you close? I know you're not going to give them the correct setup or exact, but they ask you to get in the ballpark at any time?
Generally, they'll come up and ask, okay, is this tree tighter than normal? What's this compared to say, the other No Box Nationals race that we go to up in the Lions. They'll say, what's a tree compared to here? And we'll give them the information, and it's always a little different for each racer. A lot of it has to do with the way your car works, on the way the car, the track hooks. Some of it has to do with just the way you see the tree at different places, because there is, as much as you would think there would be a uniform distance between the tree here, starting line and the tree, there is some variation. There's some variation to the height of the tree and stuff like that. So sometimes you can see them a little bit different too. So it'll vary from driver to driver. But we can generally get them in the ballpark, and we will. I mean, we share information.
Get them in the ballpark anyway.
Yeah, you're going to spank them anyway. Why not? You might as well give them all the advantage they think they can channel and just go out there and get them again anyhow. So is yesterday one of the larger amounts of money you won all year? Or is it, no, I know you get it all the time, but
this year, yeah. I mean, it's we were actually in the finals of 10 Tuck 3 weeks ago, a top bulb race.
Really?
Yeah. We decided to go top bulb racing 3 weeks ago, and something we hadn't been doing for like 14 years. We'd do it on and off every now and then. We went top bulb racing, was in the finals of that, so we won pretty good chunk of change there. And
so now let me ask you: did you have the electronics then, or did you just do it with you?
No, I went on ahead and put the delay box in for the top bulb race.
Oh, okay, all right. Because
I'm not going to bring a knife to a gunfight.
I know, my friend. But I tell you what, as well as you know how to wheel that knife, you'd have an advantage there. So electronics are cool, but it's still removing the finger from that button, whether it's on the top or bottom. And you could probably do that just about equally.
If you get on a run on the bottom bulb. You can equally run with the guys on the top off of the bottom and be just as good. There's a little bit more variation on the bottom than there is the top, and it's a little bit easier to fine-tune on the top. But a guy on the bottom that's on his game will run with just about anybody on the top.
Well, you've proved that beyond a shadow of a doubt. I mean, it's got to make you feel pretty good, and not trying to blow your balloon up here. But when you pull into a place with as many first-class race cars that are here at Beach Bend today, and you're pretty much the bad guy on the block, that's got to make you feel pretty good.
It does make you feel good, but I can tell you one thing: you don't want to get too big ahead because you can go from hero to zero in one pass.
Yeah, and another bad thing about you being up where you are, it don't really give you but one other way to go.
And another thing that does too is that guarantees that you get the best run that they've got every pass.
Yeah.
Guys will get psyched for you, and it'll get you a round or two because they'll over-psych themselves, and it'll get you a round or two. But you can pretty much guarantee that you're going to get the best pass they got every time.
Once they get up and they see you in the other lane, they're going to be on their game.
Oh yeah,
they know they got to
be.
Well, they have to be because you're going to spank them. Now, I mean, that's just the way it is, and you've been doing it for years. You ain't changed, and you've been our buddy at Event Radio for a long time, But all the decals, guys, that you get to put on your cars that are now scattered coast to coast with everybody you can imagine, this gentleman right here made them. So MGM Specialties is a killer deal, racetrophies.com. Any way you want to find him, he's just flat good at what he does, and he's good at everything, not just the racing.
I'm not saying it because Clayton's sitting here, but he makes the best-looking trophies that I've seen, and I've seen
Boy,
a lot
they
of
do.
them in my life.
We talked
They're
about
unique.
that. There are some trophies that, I won that, and you set it on a shelf somewhere. The trophies you make go on the mantle, my friend. They are the ones that you are proud of. They're the ones that they look good. I mean, it's just that simple.
Well, thank you. I try and make stuff that I would want to win.
You probably are going to. You might as well.
But I feel like if I don't believe in something, I don't put it out there. So I try and put trophies out there for the racetracks that I believe in.
Well, you've got some signature stuff that in a lot of guys' eyes are just as important to win as a Wally, and your little Christmas tree trophy is one of them. I know several guys that have won those, and buddy, they place it right up there with the Wallies they've won. They're honored to have it.
Well, thank you.
It's cool. Listen, we know you got to get ready. You're going to go out there and spank them again, so we're going to let you do that. But as always, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to be on Event Radio. You're our buddy. You're the best, honest to goodness, probably best racer we know, and we wish you all the luck. And if you spank them all weekend long, I think a trip to McDonald's would be worth it for us.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want you to splurge.
I believe they got some 59-cent hamburgers.
Okay, all right. Guys, the one and only, our buddy, Mr. Clayton Clark. We're going to stab and steer right around, no telling who we'll meet next. But we'll be there. You're on Event Radio. Don't go anywhere. Guys, I tell you, when you come to one of these events, you can ride through the pit area at any event that goes on just about. And when you find a car and a whole rig that looks like a show car, you will find our guest right here. Absolutely no doubt one of the prettiest race cars on the grounds at any track, and that goes for the trailer, the truck, hot rod reunion, anywhere you go. Our buddy, Mr. Terry Lindsay. How are you, my friend?
Well, thank you, Spivey, for saying that and your kind words. I'm doing just fine. Glad to be here.
I know you for sure know how to make them run because you win all this stuff, but you know how to wash them, too, or does Mama do that now?
Well, she used to do it real regular and all, but she's kind of turned that over to me, She stays pretty busy.
That happens when you get older, doesn't it?
The honeydew list.
Right.
You're one of the few guys that's won Hot Rod Reunion, too, huh?
3 times.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
I thought it was multiple times.
Yep.
The bottom bulb race ought to be right down your alley.
I'm really looking forward and getting glad and proud of Dallas and Alfreda that they put on this race finally. We've been asking for it for years, and it's very good to see it happening now.
Well, we've talked. We just finished talking to Clayton Clark, which is an excellent racer, and you, of course, there is no better than you. That brings the driver out in the race car.
It does. A race like this, will make you want to get up on your game and really be able to produce and perform at your best today.
Well, you always do. I mean, how many people can say they won Hot Rod Reunion 3 times? I mean, I don't think Gartlets could say that if he ran it. Where's Terry's favorite race to run?
My favorite race to run has been the Hot Rod Reunion, and I really enjoy the crowd and the people and all, and the camaraderie of the racing and all. I always enjoyed going to Indianapolis too and racing there, at the bracket finals and all.
You've got a distinct advantage with your model of the car, and we're going to take some pictures of it. But that gets you eligible to run a lot of different events.
It does. The car will actually run in the categories of Super Street, Super Gas, or Super Pro, or Foot Brake.
And it actually will get you in some vintage races too, won't it?
It will. Yes, most definitely. Always enjoyed the vintage racing. It's been a lot of fun.
So you can be the guy that wears many hats. But there's one hat you always wear. We always said Jack Roush was known by his hat, but Terry Lindsay is known by the straw hat that you wear. All you got to do is look in the crowd, and you can see that hat, and boy, you know where Brother Terry is.
Yeah, I've wore out a couple of them.
That's all right. You probably got a wardrobe full. Got to keep your image up.
Right.
We've been at a lot of these things and tried to have you on Event Radio, and you're always so busy collecting, I guess, win trophies that we never do get the chance to see you. But
probably more shy than busy.
Well, yeah, right. I can understand that. I don't believe that, but I can understand that. Listen, my friend, they have called first round. We got to cut you loose. We just wanted to have you on our little program. We appreciate. I've known you a long time. We've been friends a long time. And I've watched you win for a lot of years, and there ain't no ending anytime soon. I mean, you show them the way to the house, my friend.
I hope not. I do plan on trying to keep racing as long as I'm healthy and I feel competitive about doing it, and hopefully I got a lot of years to go.
I'm sure you do. And, guys, there will be nobody at the racetrack any better or nobody at the racetrack with any sharper entire rig than this gentleman. If you walk through there and you see one that you think is just a show car and should be inside an auditorium instead of at the racetrack, you have found Terry. There is no doubt about it.
Well, thank you for your kind words, baby. I
no
really appreciate
problem,
it.
buddy. I mean every one of them. Guys, we're going to stab and steer, get out of here, and let Terry go spank them first round, and we will be right back. Right. All right, guys, you never know who you're going to run into at Beach Bend Raceway. But we run into the absolute coolest auctioneer in our part of the world, our buddy and the gentleman that's got probably 2 of the most historic race cars in the area.
By far.
Our buddy, Mr. Barry Claypool. Barry, how are you, my friend?
Good morning. Everything's great today.
Everything's great with
Weather's
you every
good.
day.
Yes.
You have the station wagon that your buddy, Dickie Ogles, won more Wallies in than anybody in the state of Kentucky.
Oh, I'm sure. That old car, I don't imagine it would hold the money it's won.
It probably wouldn't. You laugh, but it probably wouldn't. Dickie still says that was his favorite race car.
Well, he drove it for, I think, about 1964 is when they drug it out of the junkyard and made a race car out of it. And he ran it to about 66, I think, when he sold it to Bruce Wilkinson late in 66. Or no, it would have to be 67, because as soon as he sold it, he bought a brand new 302 Camaro, and that was late in 67 when he bought that. So he had just sold his station wagon about that time.
I'm really surprised that you didn't wind up with that Camaro too. That guys, to give you a little, for you guys that are into the little bit of history, drag race history, the wagon we're talking about is the old Stagecoach wagon that spanked everybody, including the Jessel brothers and the Yoo-Hoo and all. I mean, he just spanked them all. And then the Camaro is the Silly Bear Camaro. How come you didn't come up with it?
You know, I don't know. We went to Louisville and got another Z28, 69 Z28 out of the junkyard.
Okay.
And Dickie just, he sold that Camaro. I think Darrell Keene bought it originally, but I don't know. I just, I don't know why I didn't buy it.
It's just one of them afterthoughts.
Yeah, I just didn't.
Yeah, should have done it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Now, the 55 that you own, tell us a little about that, because it's got some history, too.
Yeah, Bruce, after he raced a wagon, because it had dual 4-barrels on it, of course, 56, and the index just got too much to overcome. And he wanted a 55, cheap body 55, and he's going to put just a 265 one 4-barrel in it. And it hit the weight break. It was a business coupe, and it hit the weight break almost on the money. Pounds per square inch back in those days. And he just wanted a 55 body, and I found that old car for him over on 12th Street. It was sitting on the side of the road, 4 flat tires. But back then, that was probably about 1967 or 8. And, those old 55, 56, 57 Chevrolets, they were sitting around everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
It was not uncommon to, be able to find something like that at a bargain price.
As many of them as we've all had growing up, how quick could we retire if we had a few of them back, huh?
Well, you could retire quicker than any of us.
Well,
you had all yours back.
I sold a few of them, though, and made a little money and thought I was doing really well, and turns out I was just a total stone idiot. But, that's okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of those stories.
Yeah, I know. Did you ever think, because you used to hang out with those guys, you used to be part of the crew, and you used to go race with them everywhere. Did you ever think you'd wind up owning those cars?
Never had a thought about it. I was just a kid working on the crew and changing tires and adjusting valves and changing spark plugs. And I don't know. I never did think too much about it.
But you wound up with them, and actually, guys, probably both of those cars, if Barry wanted to, he could retire off of both of those cars because they're worth a bunch of money. Barry Claypool, the auctioneer, my friend, you are a champ at what you do. You make stuff bring more money than it's worth. And if I'm on the buying end, I'm cussing you. If I'm on the selling end, I want to kiss you right square in the mouth. You do a absolute fabulous job at your craft.
Well, I appreciate it. I had a good teacher, Bud Greenup, taught me, and Chuck Lane. I had a lot of mentors that were far exceeded any talent I ever had.
Well,
they were good teachers, and I was very fortunate to have them kind of guide me along.
Well, maybe Barry and I went to high school together, and he didn't have no trouble talking back then, did you, Barry?
No, I never did have any problem with that.
Did it say you both got in trouble for when you're supposed to shut up?
Well, I wasn't there that much, but when I'd come, they'd say Barry done it again.
Yeah, one more time.
Yeah, well, that's all right. That I tell you what, guys, if you're ever in our little part of the world, and you want to go hear a guy that's flat good at his craft, just look up for one of Barry's signs at a house he's selling or cars he's selling, or Lord knows he's selling something, and go there because he's entertaining whether you want to buy anything or not.
Barry does a lot of the auctioneering for the JDRF.
Yeah, he does the juvenile diabetes stuff, and that's sort of a freebie give back deal, and boy, those guys appreciate you more than you know.
Oh, we have a lot of fun doing that, and those people that are ramrodding that, Kevin Kirby and Larry Walker and Junior Walker and all those guys, that is a thankless job, but they are committed to it. They have people in their family, children with juvenile diabetes, and it's just a mission that they're on, and I'm glad I can help.
Guys, I'm going to tell you what. I went to one of those things, and, of course, I realize at a charity you pay just a little more for something than it's worth. You know, you do that. But I watched my buddy Barry sell a television for almost 3 times what you go to any Walmart in the country and buy that thing at. And the guy thought he got the best deal in the world, you know?
Well, he got a triple tax write-off.
Yeah. What's the wildest thing you've ever sold, Barry?
I guess, I don't know. I would have to think about that a little bit. We sold a merry-go-round in Atlanta, Georgia one time. It was an old one. And we sold each horse individually.
Okay.
Then we sold the carousel itself. And at the end of the auction, we offered a combination. If anybody wanted to buy all of the horses and the carousel and combine all the items, and the bid was $300,000, and the guy bid $305,000, bought it. Now, what he did with that, I'll never know.
Well, evidently, he'd rode them horses a long time. He liked them, you know.
I guess he's still riding them.
Well, that's sort of like, and we're not supposed to talk much about this on the radio, but there was a place here in Bowling Green that Barry will remember, and I remember very well growing up as a kid. Yeah, a brothel called Pauline's, and they actually sold the wallpaper out of certain rooms and
the bricks.
Well, they sold the bricks, sure, but there were people all over the country that they were tearing this house down for urban renewal, and these guys they paid them to let them tear it down because of the history. And there were guys calling up saying, "Hey, I want the top bedroom to the right. I want the wallpaper, or I want this, or I want this." You wouldn't think they were there maybe at one time, would you?
A lot of history in this town.
A lot of history in this town. I tell you what, guys, we don't get to slow down our buddy, Mr. Barry Claypool, very much. But at the bottom bulb race at Beach Bend, he's out here cruising the golf cart. And you know, you can always tell an event you go to, that we go to, because if Barry and Dickie Ogles are on the grounds, it's going to be a good one. There's no doubt about it, because they don't go to any junk, you know. And so you were a total confidence builder for us pulling into this thing. When we saw you in the golf cart, we said, boy, this is going to be a good one.
Well, I hope so. They're running down through there pretty fast right now.
Yeah, they are. I'll tell you what, we're going to pair off these golf carts and see who's got the quickest one. What do you think?
Yeah, my dad told me one time, said, Barry, you're going to die at Beach Bend. I said, well, you got to die somewhere.
Yeah, might as well die where you
right.
enjoy being.
Where you're having fun.
That's it. Our buddy, the absolute best there is at his craft, guys. Super, super nice guy. The one and only, Mr. Barry Claypool. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Spivey, and thank you, Terry.
All right, we'll be right back, guys. Bye-bye. All right, guys, we are back from the bottom bulb race, and we just can't help ourselves. We search out the absolute coolest cars on the place, and I believe we have found it. Tweety Bird is the name.
Tweety Bird.
Yeah. What is your name, sir?
Tony Schwab.
Tony, where are you from, my friend?
Brookville, Indiana.
Brookville. Now, where in the world is Brookville? Tell us.
It's about halfway between Cincinnati, Ohio, and Indianapolis.
Okay. All right. That's up in God's country. You're okay there.
All righty.
Yeah. You have a cool, unusual car that your wife tells us you just built it all.
I did.
That's neat. That's neat. Am I correct in saying that probably the body came from a Legend car?
You are absolutely right.
I know a little bit. You know, I'm just.
We had to stretch it about 30 inches to get to the rule book for 90-inch wheelbase, and then we heightened it another 10 inches, and some other body work to get it to look like it does.
And it's a V6 car.
It's a 3.8-liter Ford out of a 2000 Mustang V6. Took the whole drivetrain, everything out of the car.
So you made it out of the Mustang V6, right?
More or less, yeah. A lot of V6 Mustang parts on there.
Boy, I tell you what, that's cool. Guys, I'm telling you, if you come to one of these events and you see the little yellow car, come over and look at it. This thing's got a tremendous amount of engineering in it. I mean, what do you do for a living, sir?
Maintenance engineer.
I wonder, but I'm good there too, aren't I?
Amazing.
Boy, I tell you what, you never know we were old drag racers. If you can't go by it, you make it, you know. Have you run it quite a bit?
This is its 7th season.
7th season,
yeah.
Really? Well, you must have done a good job building it, huh?
Yeah, first year out, as you mentioned, engineering at the NHRA Indianapolis Division Finals, it actually won Best Engineered Car.
All right.
Well, CT, I told you I'd seen this once or twice before. You know.
So why now?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them once or twice. I know a little bit about what I'm looking at. You won any of the big buck races yet?
Biggest I run is the foot breakdown at Bristol. I ran it once. That was a few years ago. This would be the next biggest race I've run.
Having fun, though, right?
Oh, yeah, that's what it's all about. Just see what you can do and have fun.
So you like the foot brake races better than the electronic deal?
Well, I've never tried electronics. I've foot braked probably for 20 years, and then just
well, that's what
so
started.
Much easier.
Well, that's what started it.
Yeah.
You know, and it puts the racing back into the driver and not the remote control car. You know.
Oh, I agree.
So many of the electronics, if you could drive those things sitting in the stand with a remote control Traxxas box, you know, and really, you think I'm kidding, but other than a top bulb reaction, you don't do anything else but sit there and ride. The either the delay box helps, the throttle stop helps, or something, and I don't know. I think that, and we mentioned before to a couple of guys, in one respect, it's really helped the weekend drag racing. On another respect, it's killed the spectators.
Yeah, I understand why some people go to it. If you ain't doing real good foot braking, you got to try to change something up. And if you go to the switch and the button and it works for you, sometimes you stick with it.
I guess it's sort of like if you keep on doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep on getting what you've been getting. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I believe so.
Answer me a question. Terry and I noticed something here. We haven't seen a dragster on a place. What is the deal there?
They were not invited.
Oh, really? It's an all-door race.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That explains why we hadn't seen one. You know,
the wheelbase would be a little different too, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, usually when you go to any kind of a halfway related bracket race, you got 3 million dragsters and about 20 door cars. You know, and I believe that probably the door cars on a bottom bulb race would have an advantage anyway.
Oh, yeah, if you take the electronics away from the dragsters, they struggle.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, listen, my friend, thank you so much for allowing us to look at your hot rod, but we like it. I mean, we think it's just really cool, and thank you for joining us on Event Radio. We always seek out the unusual stuff and wind up getting to talk to the nicest people, so we appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you coming out here and looking at us.
Oh, we're having just a big time. Guys, we're going to stab and steer right through the pits. No telling where we will wind up next, but you're on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere. All right, guys, when you come to the Bottom Bulb Nationals, our race at Beach Bend, the inaugural first one, you know you're going to run into the cream of the crop. And believe it or not, I see my buddy in the bathroom, no less. I've looked for him out here, and he kept evading me. But he is the best of the best racers are here at this event. He is for sure one of them. Mr. Calvin Ogles, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. How are you, Spivvy?
For an old fat guy, I'm doing okay. What about the bottom bulb race? What do you think?
It's a whole lot more prestige than the top bulb as far as waiting for the other lights to come down. You're really wanting to anticipate it, but you still have to wait. And it's a whole lot more.
Doesn't it separate the drivers, the real racers?
Yes.
I'm not taking anything away, guys, from the good electronic bracket racers, but you got to be on your game to do good at this.
Exactly. The bottom bulb is kind of like it was in the old days.
Yes.
You have to, especially if you got a big spot against you. You have to sit there and wait, and and it's hard.
Boy, that takes a long time, don't it?
It's hard to sit there and wait when somebody wants to catch you.
That'd probably be worse than waiting for your wife's good cooking, I mean,
exactly.
I gotta go,
Yeah.
I gotta go, but I can't go.
It's a lot of discipline.
Yeah, it's
They're
gotta
getting
be.
farther down the track as they go.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
it's a lot of discipline to sit there, especially when you're spotting somebody. To discipline yourself and say, hey, I got to see the bulb before I hit it, and it's really hard.
It's hard to do. Well, T and I, what little we did way back then. Of course, that's all we had. We didn't have any electronic help or anything like that. Whatever we did, well, we did have a street light or two, but we didn't do that much. But actually, believe it or not, I actually drag raced before even a Christmas tree when they did the arm drop thing.
Right.
And of course, you could cheat a little there.
Well, you go way back, don't you, Spin?
Yeah, buddy, I'm an old guy. but you could actually, I did it as a child. But you could actually make that guy drop his arms. There was ways to do that.
Oh, yeah?
And, we got pretty good at that. But
especially if you knew the flagman real well.
I could imagine how hard it is for the guys that have always just electronically raced and then come to do this. The best of the best are not very good when it comes to this.
Well, the bottom bulb is not as close racing as top bulb, but it's getting there.
Well,
it's you still got your.
I don't know. Now, wait. One of the very first guests we talked to on this show was Clayton Clark, and Clayton can do both, and he does both. He said he actually did put a delay box in his car. He said, "I think honestly, I did better without it." And so if you're a racer, you can do it now. Yeah, I can imagine you'll be able to do it with the electronics, without the electronics. Because you're that good at what you do, and man, I mean, when you're good, you're good. That's all you can say.
Well, Clayton is good. I mean, he's a cream of the crop. He's good at what he does. But
how many times you two guys been in the finals with each other? Yeah, that's probably one you can't even count.
I'm not near as good as Clayton. I'll put it to you that way.
Well, I don't know about that, my friend. If it was going to dinner, you ain't missed many meals because you're good at it. There's no doubt about it.
I appreciate it. Actually, I got my car down right now.
I wondered that. That's what I kept looking for was your car, and I never did see it. And I thought, well, I wonder why he's not here. But then. Yeah. I get the unimaginable urge to go to the bathroom, and there you are. I said, "Oh, cool, we'll get this done after all."
Yeah. I'm putting new springs, lifters, rockers, all that.
Making it where to live a little longer. You have to do that stuff.
Yes, you have to.
Well, listen, is family okay?
Yes, doing great. I got my two boys with me today, and
boy, you guys are having Dad's day out,
having
and Mother's praying you'll stay a long time. Is that it?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Mom's praying just stay out there for a while.
Yeah,
But it's always our pleasure to slow you down long enough to talk to you for a minute on Event Radio. Your dad and I were best of buddies, and had more fun with him. There's a special memory section in my mind that he occupies, and man, it was just really cool, and coming to a race like this sort of reminds me a lot of him because that's what he did and excelled at so well.
He loved it to the max. He really enjoyed it.
When you're good, you love it, and everybody else hates to see you there, and he was that way. He was one of the guys that you just couldn't wait to see. But if you had to race against him, you sort of wish he'd stayed at home, One of those deals. My buddy, Mr. Calvin Ogles, guys, we appreciate you being on Event Radio again.
Thank you, Smith.
And we're going to get out of here, and I promise not to run away from T. I think he wasn't on the golf cart, and I took off last time. We were down seeing Angela at Quick Fuel, and he just stood there and waited, and he said, I knew you'd come back. So we're back anyway.
Hang on, T.
All right. Our buddy, guys, Mr. Calvin Ogles. We will be back. Don't you go anywhere. You're on Event Radio.
Thank you, Calvin.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we are back from the bottom bulb race, and we run into a guy. There are a lot of sponsors on a lot of race cars, but there aren't many. You see sponsors on all these cars, and a lot of them don't necessarily use what they're doing. And your sponsor is used, I bet, by just about every racer in the place. What is your name, sir?
My name is Michael Beard, and when it says duct tape on the car, that is the original Duck brand duct tape.
Well, the thing about
it, it's just the name of the car. And matter of fact, we do use it. I'm afraid that there's some holding my Easy up together right now, and I just rewrapped the roll bar padding on the car last week.
Well, but that's something that is a staple for every drag racer. I don't care who you are.
Any kind of racer.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know us, but we're not radio people. We're old ex-pro racers. And I ran an alcohol funny car forever, and I promise you, we made several passes at well over 200 mile an hour with duct tape holding stuff on that.
That's why they called it 200 mile an hour tape.
That's exactly right.
And actually, Manco, the original parent company of Duck brand duct tape, they had the naming rights on 200 mile per hour tape.
Oh, we just
that was actually them.
Well, we actually just proved it worked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no
because
doubt.
we taped body on. We taped a lot of parts
First
on.
panels. Right?
Oh, just whatever. Yeah. But that's cool, and it's got to be cool to have a. Are you affiliated with the company, or did you just pick them up as a sponsor?
They're just a sponsor, and I tell you what, although it's really a big brand, a large corporation, it's got a small business feel to it. The people there know how to have fun. You know, it's not just a job to them.
Well, it's a lot like
really very cool.
It's a lot like the Lucas Oil people. I mean,
yeah.
there is no bigger racer than Forrest Lucas and his wife. You know, and of course
and it's family.
And they're the biggest in the world. But they're having a good time, and they realize how important the racers are. And I'm sure the people at Duct Tape realize how important they are, or you wouldn't have it down the sides of your car.
Yeah, and a lot of it's about branding because, you know, consumers got a lot of choices. When you walk into Walmart or Target, you know, racers are very brand loyal.
Uh-huh.
So when you go to the store, you're going to pick up that brand and not some other brand.
No, that's a fact.
Because of the involvement in motorsports.
Right. Exactly. We run into that every day, buddy, when this little radio thing that we do. Do you go to a lot of these foot brake deals, or is it you go to them all?
I attend a lot of foot brake deals. My partner Anthony Walton and I actually have a promotion company called Loose Rocker Promotions. We put on a number of big money bracket races as well, and do some foot brake racing. We started out several years ago. There used to be a $20,000 foot brake race Thanksgiving weekend, and some new owners had come into that track and had done away with the race, and Anthony and I are sitting around going, man, I wish somebody would do the 20. Man, somebody ought to do that race. Hey, you want to rent a track? So
there you go.
There you go. It started out with one race. Now we're up to 5 events that we promote, and really we're doing races that we would like to be competing in that just nobody's doing or not doing in a certain area. We're actually going to be at Virginia Motorsports Park 2 weeks from now for our Colonial Classic. We do a 5, a 10, and a 5 for not only foot brake but also top ET. We do some door car only box racing. You know, the 20-gram foot brake Thanksgiving weekend. We did a stock super stock only race this year at Columbus, Ohio, at 203 cars with bad weather on our very first year. So getting things rolling.
Hey, buddy, I tell you what, you sound to me like you're on your game. You know,
keep them busy.
Yeah, well, race car guys are supposed to be busy. See, you know how to multitask.
Yeah.
No, you think I'm kidding, but there's a thing about racers that are different, and finally, corporate America is realizing this. Drag racers learn how to fix stuff right the first time fast and make it work. And
absolutely.
More than most, because drag racing is not like any other sport where you got a second shot at it or a second time at it. You've got one shot to make sure everything does exactly as it's supposed to do, and if it doesn't, you're on a trailer going home.
Yeah, I played around with a little bit of circle track type things, some of the indoor go-kart stuff, and I can make so many mistakes in those 4 corners. I'm okay with only having one shot to make a mistake. Drag racing fits my attention span.
There you go. Well, the guy standing on the back is an ex-professional speedway motorcycle racer. And Terry,
on purpose?
Yeah, on purpose. Yeah. We kid him about.
I've heard that before.
We kid him about being on ESPN more than Captain Kangaroo was on TV. But he, for a past, we're old guys now. You know, we don't get to play anymore. So he has a pastime that he has found to keep him busy, and it's a shifter cart. You know, I said, you got to slow down at 130 mile an hour in a shifter cart, and you're an old guy like me. What's wrong with you? Did you hit your head?
Well, he did get
what?
2 more wheels.
Yeah. Well, I think that after
there ain't a whole lot else around him, but he's getting there.
He's still, well, he's got 2 Hayabusa motorcycles too. So you know, you got to, old guys do have fun. You know,
need for speed.
Yeah, there you go. A need for speed.
That'll do that. I like doing wheelies.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're a motorcycle guy, huh?
Or no, in a race car.
Oh, in a race car. That's cool. Well, that way you can check for leaks underneath. That's what you get a guy.
I wish you stayed up there long enough to check. Yeah.
Well, you get a camera and it'll be up there forever.
Yeah, the track's working real nice here at Beach Bend Raceway this weekend. The old Volare is getting the wheels up pretty nice. It's quite a lot of fun, and like I said, I'm very glad that they put this event on. We're having a good time, and really quite beautiful weather for August.
Yeah, for August, it's really exceptionally nice. Well, Dallas orders that. I mean, you realize that, don't you? Yeah. And the tourist commission here makes sure he gets it. because we appreciate everybody coming to Bowling Green so much. You know,
I get down here once a year, twice a year. This year it'll be 3 times, so I always enjoy myself down here.
You're going to be a transplant for long. You just keep on coming. All roads lead to here. You know, all roads lead to Bowling Green and Beach Bend Park. You know?
I could get the accent back real quick. I started out in Pennsylvania and Ohio, got tired of being cold. We moved to North Carolina for 6 years. Talked real funny when I was there, and then I've been back to Columbus, Ohio for 2 years.
You're getting here. Now, once you get about 20 miles north from here, you start getting into everywhere that sweet tea is on the menu. You know, from here south, it's all got sweet tea on it. See, and you know that. Yeah, you got to say y'all. You can even get sweet tea at the Jack Daniels Distillery. You know that? Oh, baby. Boy,
I tell you, Island, huh?
We have fun, guys. And we saw the duct tape car, and we just had to stop and talk. We appreciate you being on Event Radio more than you know. We appreciate you bringing duct tape to the public. Everybody's used it, and they call it duct tape whether it is or not. You know,
yeah.
Really they do. And,
they find out the difference, though. Mickey Thompson Tires is another sponsor, and a lot of times when I go to the racetrack, I'll go take them a roll or two, and every single time they look at it and go, "Oh, this is the good stuff," you know, because when they run out, they'll go to the dollar store and buy something cheap, and then they complain that it doesn't work right. And I'm like, well, you know the brand to buy.
Yeah,
there is a difference.
Oh yeah, I know.
So,
what is it? What's the old saying? There's hardly anything that somebody cannot make a little less. What is it? A little less quality and a little less expensive. That's always out there, and you get what you pay for.
I was just going to say that you get what you pay for.
Listen, Michael, thank you for being on Event Radio. We appreciate you taking the time, and we disrupted your major mechanical overhaul on the generator. We put gas in it.
Putting gas in it.
Yeah, that's all right. But we appreciate you taking the time to be on Event Radio. We appreciate you being at this event, and thanks for being here. Thanks for
thanks very much for your time
being on here. And guys, we're going to stab and steer, and no telling what we'll wind up with, but. You're on Event Radio, and do not go anywhere no matter what anybody says. We'll be right back. Well, T-Bone, what about the bottom bulb bracket race, bud?
There ought to be more of these, Speedy. This is the way drag racing used to be, the way you and I grew up, the way my pop did. This is racing. Get the first, the other end first, you win.
Well, I sort of like that. I think out of all of what the guys have said, it puts the driver back in control and not so much the world of electronic medium. That's so prevalent in everything in all our lives now. I mean, you're on a telephone, an iPad, a computer, something. Just about. I'm surprised you don't have to use one to go to the toilet.
Really? Well, you see these cars get to the other end of the track, putting their brakes on. I don't. I know it's skill and everything in the ET racing, but I just don't understand it. This is the way it ought to be in my world.
Yeah, well, this is the way, I think this puts the driver back in control. And you see some of them still stabbing the brake. I guess they think they're running too fast, and old habits are hard to break. But that's actually very, very dangerous. The brake lock up. A couple of the cars have wound up on their roof, not here today, of course, but in the regular bracket races over the brakes locking or them trying so hard to lock it up, it jerks the wheel out of their hand and they wind up upside down. That's sort of just downright stupid as far as I'm concerned.
Well, actually, this bottom bulb race could be somewhat less expensive than the bracket, couldn't it?
Yeah. It's
not all the electronics.
Yeah, and it's a whole lot more fun, and a guy can have a regular car, I guess you would say, and have a real good chance of winning some cash, and that's neat. That's really cool.
I guess what I'm trying to say on the bracket races, I don't think I'd be smart enough to understand how to do all the dial-ins.
No, me either. And really, that's why it's not been so fan friendly. You sit in the stands and you see these cars do all this weird stuff at weird times, and sure, it's timing, it's working everything out for the advantage of that particular run. But it's about as much fun as watching paint dry when you're a spectator, because you don't understand it. After you see it a while, you don't want to understand it, And it's just one of those deals. I'm not. I like this.
I like this better. But, of course, bracket race is better than no racing.
Oh, yeah. I'll take that over a rain day anytime. But this has been a lot of fun. How about our buddy Artie?
Oh, good guy.
Guys, if you're not even into religion, you will be. If
preachers supposed to be good guys.
Yeah, but a lot of them.
I've not seen a crackhead preacher yet.
No, not yet. And a lot of them, you shy away from your preacher. Guys like Artie, you don't do that, buddy. You run up and embrace them. I mean, they're just really, really cool guys.
Well, we're subject to come out tomorrow and check his service.
Yeah, we'll probably be on the. I don't know about. I wonder if it's like a drive-in, if you sit in the car or what you do.
I don't know.
We'll find out, because we're used to sitting in the back row, so I will have to find a back row out here. Listen, Baz, we appreciate so much you joining us all the time on Event Radio. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate you telling your friends about us. And we never, never close a program without thanking our sponsors, because without them, we could not be here. The guys at Beach Bend Raceway, Beach Bend Park, and Splash Lagoon.
Quick Fuel Technology, the good guys at Final Finish.
The Gearhead Gazette, the #1 car guy magazine on the internet. Wherever you want to go and have fun with four wheels, those guys will tell you where it's going on. And our last but not least, latest joinee, I guess you would call it, the nice people at Holly Performance. If you don't have, or if you can't find something at Holly that to work on your hot rod with, or your project or whatever,
you don't have a hot rod.
Nah, you might as well go home and watch Home Improvement, do something like that.
Well, we're talking to the guy down there a while ago that had the duct tape sponsor, Tim Allen. He was quite an advocate of the duct tape on that show.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's the deal with it.
He's the one that taught me the correct saying of it. Duck, D-U-C-T.
D-U-C-T, yeah.
I'd always do like the quacking ducks.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, I'm South. I can do that.
Yeah, that's right. We know what sweet tea is, too. Guys, thank you for joining us on Event Radio. We're going to get out of here and let these guys win all this money without us bugging them. We appreciate you joining us, and we will talk to you again.
Thank you, everybody.
You've been listening to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you heard about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Join us next time with your hosts, Spivey Williams and Terrible T Guy.